All right. Wasn't this game also a full hold? Yeah. So first priority, right? We talked about this before, but control off angles first, focus on main second, right? So yes, it's fine to shoot these people, but don't get too caught up walking this way when you know that nine times out of ten somebody's gonna walk out this door or this door, right? If the whole enemy team goes this way, right? You don't lose a lot of time in your ability to shoot them because they have a Rhine shield and you can shoot the Rhine shield from almost anywhere, right? But if someone walks out this way, you need to get the first shot on them, not the other way around, right? If you're getting shot first, there's a problem. Yeah. So you almost die. You get lucky that they like miss a lot, and the fire also just like ignores you. I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, this is good, controlling the off angle, right? But I just need to make sure you just need to make sure that you don't forget on the first fight, right? Ooh, nice shot. That's kind of awkward.
Back in the saddle. Hey there. Hello.
Hello. I'll be honest, it's if you get to this kind of position, I would prefer if you like just like kind of sat here and like hid. Um, or maybe like over here and hid, right? Or like maybe like I don't know, find somewhere to hide, like maybe behind this corner and hope that they don't see you or something. There's a bunch of stuff you can do, but like this position is really strong and like you know what like if you had to guess like the fight's gonna happen like here or here or here or somewhere in this general area, right? And this high ground is super strong, right? So you don't have to work to get this high ground later when you can just kind of sit here or hide and like just have it for free. So if you're gonna have it for free, the only thing that's going to stop you from having it for free, right? Because you're already here, is if you give away your positioning, right? So what you did essentially is you walked out here and you traded your positioning in exchange, your pre-fight positioning in exchange for about like 10% alt, right? And that's like generally speaking not worth the trade.
Hey there.
Like you got like 2 to 3 shots in, right?
Man.
And now you have to like everything you do, the enemy team will see now, and you also have to wait for your team to do anything. Yeah, and you get spammed along with your team. This is a good move, right? But you see like you're already falling behind the play, right? And it's not really your fault, right? Honestly, you probably could have just stayed here though, and like maybe swung out this way or something. But the thing is, you're falling behind the play because the team's going high ground. But imagine if you were already here and you just like killed the McCree or the far like while our team was like just pushing to card instead because they know you're here, right? Or they walked up to or like for example, yeah, I guess we like push this way and while they're distracted, you just walk out and get a free fan kill, right? Or just like walked out here and like oh, two shot somebody, right? But you can only do that if you're already pre-positioned, right? So great timing. You force a trans. You're probably gonna get a kill off this as well. Nice. Very well done. Careful walking in, right? Don't force the flash value. I know you're trying to cancel the res, right? But our team is up here. We're already winning the fight. You just need to stay alive on the flank, right? It'd be because like you also have a hard time getting help from here, right? Like it's kind of hard for the bat. Like we don't have great range healing. The BAP can kind of heal you, but like he might get stuck behind other things. Like have to like he has to shoot his way through Tito and Dan, who are both missing a decent chunk of health. And he can't heal you through them. So like be careful of this. Like you just don't want to get in Zarya range at all. That's not you. Alright, you live. That was close though. Again, you don't need a force slash value. You can just kind of chill on the side edges of the fight. That's generally where you want to exist. Flash. Okay, so to clarify, flash is great, but it's generally speaking mostly a tool to protect your off angle, right? To make it hard for one hero to come and contest you, or make it very scary for them because you can just kill them with flash at any time. And it has to be like multiple heroes or like multiple resources, like a hero plus a bubble or something, right? To kick you out of your off angle. um, or they just have to shoot you, right? Um, but for the most part, right, you just make it difficult to shoot them by being further away, and then in order to push you out, right, they have to walk closer to you, and for some characters that means into your flashbang range, right? And that makes it very scary for them like to push you. So again, flashbang is more to protect your angle than it is to like than the value you get from your angle, right? Your reward of taking a good angle isn't a flashbang kill usually. It can be, but it's not always. It's like free pressure from the sides, right? The value of the off angle, the reward you get for your off angle is just like the off angle, right? And flashbang is to protect it, not actually to take it, or what you do when you have it. Nice. I can't believe you didn't die. You didn't know. So, first of all, like when you're trying to ignore a problem, you cannot like just like walk straight away from it. Like you gotta mix up your movement a little bit. This is a great barrage cancel, by the way. Um, but be careful again with where you're standing, right? You're not really flanking here. You're also standing in the open. There's not really a lot of options for you. So instead of like playing here, for example, and just like trying to shut down the Pharah, or playing here and just playing super long range and shutting down the Pharah that way, right? You're just kind of standing. You're doing it both halfways, which puts her into like conk range. So from here, in order to get to you, she can conk, right? And she's right here, right? Which is where you flashed her, right? But if you were over here, she physically cannot get to you, right? So all she can do is spam you. I love to walk away from my problems, though. Yeah, true. Uh, but like, but you see, like, you just kind of like, they just, if she wasn't reloading and this guy didn't miss, you would have died, right? So like, it's okay to ignore your problem, um, with your camera, but you can't ignore the problem with your movement.
Back into the mix.
60 seconds remaining.
Good taking high ground, right? You're waiting as well, all right? Never mind. Or you're pushing, so it's fine. If you're behind, call it. Like when your team's pushing this, right? Don't give up your off angle for this, right? Again, you're over focusing on the new main, which is right here, right? And then you're forgetting about all of this, right? So you hit the shots on the McCree, that's great, right? Now you just stay here, right? You can just stay here, let your team clean up the McCree, who is very low, right? And if he walks out from behind the cart because your team's flushing him out, then you shoot him, right? But you don't need like again, McCree is not actually a close range character. He has close range tools, but he's a medium-ish range character, right? So you want to hold things at medium range. So if he's there, right, you don't need to go to him, right? Just make sure he doesn't leave, right? Make sure he dies, and then go back to what you're doing, right? So if you're just sitting here, right, your team kills this McCree. These guys walk into your range. You just walk out. You three tap the Zen, and you can absolutely do that from here, right? But you can only do that if you're here, right? You can't do that from here. Yeah, and notice that this was the best spot you could find at the end of all that, right? It was behind this car that barely shielded you, right? Right, like a slight off angle for the tanks, where if Zari turned to look at you and didn't stack with their Rhine, you would have like died long before you had impact. Like, so you killed the Rhine, but this is more about the fact that their tanks are not controlling off angle as well, and not that you were controlling off angle as well, right? So it's good that you split from your team after that, right? But you didn't need to drop down in the first place. That was the main issue.
The payload has reached
That's never uneventful.
So all inning here for positioning, or to like giving your position to all in here is fine, because you know that like that we're taking an isolated fight here. So if you want to like drop down and commit, that's totally fine. Not maybe not when they're transing, but you know, um, the concept is like fine. Ooh, very risky. Ooh, the bubble. Oh my god, the bubble saved you. Yeah, but again, like you got stuck here, right, which is where the rest of the team was. Instead of like going this way, this is a very aggressive play. If you have flashbang, you can go this way and go hunt for a pick. This is like the high risk, high reward play. More like high risk, extremely high. Sorry, high reward, extremely high risk, high reward. So like, if you get a kill, it's amazing. But there's a high likelihood you die here. Like even if you get a kill. That said, if you want to back out earlier, right, instead of like peeking back for the Zen, right. There was a solid moment where you're just kind of like sitting here trying to figure out what to do, and then you peek this way, and then you got hit by the Zen, and like you never fully recovered, right? And then if you're going to back out, decide to back out earlier, right? So that way the opportunity to split off in this direction, right, and take a new off angle, right? But don't get stuck with your team, right? So this is good, right? But the problem is you didn't check your angles, and then also you didn't do this earlier, right? I mean, you couldn't because you were in grab, but you know, get the idea. Nice. I like this. When you come out, don't walk at people unless you needed to hit shots. Yeah. Like you can honestly, you don't even need to come out. You can just like stand in the doorway, and if you see anyone, you shoot them, right? And if it turns out like you have a good opportunity, you can like roll over here, right, and take a greedier angle, and then either grab the health pack if you need it, or walk up the stairs. And if like it turns out you come out here and there's like a Zarya sitting here, right? Then you take a couple of pot shots and then you run back in. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. But that was really good. I like that flank. Always be thinking in like with like flanks. Again, the only time you should be stacked with your Rhine, the only times are for high noon plays and flashbang plays. That's it. No other times. So this is a flashbang play, so this is okay, right? But if you weren't going for a flashbang, you should be here. You should be standing right here, right? And plinking away. But you see how we're on the same angle with our team again? We drifted this way because we wanted to shoot the Rhine. But we don't actually want to shoot Rhine. We want to shoot the other people, right? So once we get that flashbang kill, right, and our Rhine starts moving left, we honestly want to start moving right. This is great, right? So instead of looking this way, so if you roll, maybe you can check this way to see like if there's anyone pushing this flank, right? As soon as you confirm there's no one here, right? Start going this way, right? Start looking here, right? Because the fight's going to move in this direction, and if you can predict that, you can either want to go super wide and create another angle, right? In case the fight actually like I mean we're winning, so right now they're realistically they're not going to like hang out here. Yeah, I guess it's just prediction on the fight. So if you know the fight's going to move in this direction, right? Then you can like take a greedy angle on it, right? But if the fight's gonna move in this direction, then you actually want to like chill, wait for a second, and then re-peek this angle, right? Because the fight is gonna move in here, and you're gonna have a new off angle like this, right? Like these Rhines are gonna like just like think about the direction the Rhines will move, right? And that'll tell you where you should stand. Yeah, and so instead of standing here, right, you want to cross this gap as soon as you can if you're committed to this angle with your team. So that way you can get this angle, right? This is the angle that will matter for you, right? Not this angle. So I know you want to play distance. Distance is good, right? Don't get shattered, right? But, right, again, don't stand here, right? Or don't like stand here. You want to stand here, right? If possible. You want to cross this gap. Use roll if you need to. This is good as well, right? It's just like a little bit late, you know? Overall, this isn't bad though. Not at all. Good identification of the McCree.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Okay, you don't need to hunt him. Right. You've already won the off angle for your team, right? Now's when you convert the off angle advantage into doing like making plays, right? Like high nooning here, right? Who's gonna stop you from high nooning when the McCree is like hiding from you in low health, right? So like you won the advantage, like you got the advantage, but now if you look at this fight, this McCree is doing more about this fight than you are, despite the fact that you won the flank. So you're probably going to kill him now. That's good, right? But you essentially killed yourself by taking yourself out of the fight, right? Right. So the fight is over, right? The fight is over. Like, and then you get a kill, right? But the fight is already effectively over, right? This is death. Your impact on the fight was like all you did was keep the McCree out, right? And that's good, but that's a 5v5, right? So what you want to do is you keep the Kree out, right? Win the flank war, right? And then go right back to this, right? Huge shatter.
Follow me.
So we're going for a high noon play here, it looks like. That's fine. Don't be afraid to like wait out the Matrix there. You have a lot of time, so like you got a full Rhine Shield. That's what we have the Rhine Shield for, right? So like really force people into a corner, make them split awkwardly. Like even if you don't get kills off of it, the positioning advantage is so big as long as we really abuse it, right? And even if we don't get a ton of positioning off it, you'll force all of the DM matrix, right? Or DM matrix, defense matrix. You force all of the defense matrix, right? You'll maybe burn a shield, right? If you get a kill, that's great, right? But it's easier for the demon to eat it, honestly, if like you pull earlier, right? And you actually burn less resources overall. See, flashbang defends your off angle, right? And your reward of off angle is getting to use the off angle. Don't drop, no. Okay, this is the one way you throw, right? You drop, and then like maybe Vic dies to some random guy in high ground, and then they can stall cart now, right? But you just stand up here and shoot, right? Nothing's gonna happen, right? You guaranteed can't lose if you don't drop here. I mean, we're almost definitely not going to lose anyways, right? But if a throw were to happen, it's because our whole team would drop off high ground and just like focus on a baby diva, right? You didn't even hit her. Oh, it wasn't a full hold. My bad. It was only a second point hold. Only.
Hey there.
Oh god dang.
One. Attackers incoming. Escort the payload.
Wow, we did not fool them at all. That's my bad. This plan was terrible. Oh my god, they were not tricked. This is good timing. This might even be slightly late. We're having problems? Okay, we're winning the fight. See, like, the thing is, like, you potatoed really hard, but you made that BAP come around, turn to save the McCree who was yelling McCree behind, right? And this is the advantage of getting the first shot, right? You sat here, you waited. This McCree didn't think anyone was going to flank him. You flanked, you killed him, right? Or you didn't kill him, but you effectively removed him from the fight. And then you also effectively removed the BAP from the fight. So that's a double whammy, right? So that's really good. You basically, and then you turn around and got big damage on the backline, right? After killing the BAP. So, like, you did a lot of work there. So again, to resist the urge to go back to your team, right? Resist the urge to go back to your team. You did a lot of stuff from here, and you go back to here and go back to doing nothing, right? So just stay here, fight the McCree for the space if needed, right? Or run away from him if he's pushing you. And then like as soon as like you gain advantage, push him back, right? But don't get stuck with your team looking at main, right? That's the worst scenario for McCree. Right, so when you're feeling threatened, you back up, right? You sit here, right? And then you go right back. Flashbang kill is fine. Hello. Hey there. Howdy. Alright, take position. Okay, we're going high ground. Run! Run! That's a nice headshot. Again, don't get stuck close to them. Just keep running. Keep running, keep running. Get all the way out here if you need to, right? Or like into here, or just like, I mean, I guess if you're really afraid of the McCree, this is okay, right? But yeah. Wait, I just realized. That that I had health bars on. And that's cheating because you do not have health bars on. I can't believe you're getting away with this. Okay, you didn't.
It ain't my time.
I did not realize there was a wall behind me. I walked into it like 4 times. Unfortunate. And that's why you don't want to play behind your team. We'll play with your team. Like, yes, you got a high noon kill, and that's great, and you secure the high noon kill with your Rhine shield, right? But playing with your team sucks. It just feels terrible. All that stuff that Rhine mains complain about with, like, getting, like, killed by Mei and, like, dumb walls and eating some million CC, right? That happens to you when you stand next to your Rhine too, right? And you're not a Reinhardt, which makes it even worse. So unless you want the Reinhardt experience, don't stand next to your Rhine if at all possible, right? I get that was a team play, we're going for high noon, right? But, like, this is just like emblematic of every problem that happens from standing next to your Rhine, right? You stand next to your Rhine, you get walled, you get frozen, you get grabbed, all that crap. Very short angle, very sketch, very scary. He's going higher. Oh yeah. I was so close to blocking this. I'm so sad. That's my bad. I even saw it happening. Alright, we lived. Again, don't overstack with your team, right? Drift this way, not this way, right? And if you run to the McCree here, you can go for a flash, right?
Just what the doctor ordered.
60 seconds.
This is good, just a little close to them, right? You'd much rather be like here, right? This is much safer. Less likely to get you killed by a random McCree drop, right? You'll see the McCree coming, you take angles, right? And then if you need to, you can high noon later into the fight, right? Or you can transition to their spawn a little bit faster, right? But like you just want to play like the edges of the fight, not this close to them, right? See, what was that McCree's mistake, right? He took an off angle, dropped really early, and then didn't push out this way, right, towards you. He pushed out towards cart to go for a flash kill and paid for it, right? He didn't get anything, you killed him immediately, right? Oh, ouch. Ooh. 300 damage icicle to the head.
The payload is
Hey.
Again, you don't need to be here. You can just be here, right? And that way you can have vision of anyone flanking, right? And if no one flanks, then it becomes your flank, right? But you want to get stuck with your team, especially when there's no chance of a flashbang play here, and you also have no high noon, right? Just no reason to be here at all. Right? Like, how come you can't shoot the Rhine right now, right? It's because you're not standing here. Why you're not standing here? It's because you went this way instead of this way, right? It's kind of that simple. I'm gonna lose this fight. Oh, never mind, she's better. Oh, you want it. You got it. Goodbye, world. It was all worth. And I got a ping from work. Need to make sure it's not important. Oh, we're good. Okay.
I've got unfinished business.
Yeah, so again, right? Why are we eating Rhinehammer swings and Mayfreeze, right? It's because we rotated with our team to high ground, right? As soon as that window comes up, right? Just like first of all, you want to be a little bit late to the party to high ground anyways, right? You can stand here and shoot just fine, right? And then when the window comes up, instead of going this way with your team, right? I know you were already there, you're already going up, and you were trying to dodge a fire strike as well. But like, just go this way, right? And now you have an angle on the enemy team, right? That's separate from your team. That doesn't get shot from the window mostly, because if like they're standing at the window and looking this way, like they're not looking at your team. Um, that can transition to a deeper flank this direction, or a high ground flank, right? Or you can just go back, right? Depending on the situation, right? It gives you options, right? But when you go with your team, you run out of options very fast.
Back into the mix.
Okay, we're going with our high team. We have high noon, so this is really good. We found the Rhine. Unlucky. We are dead. We are not dead. I mean, that was a good play within the context of the situation. But the problem is, like, you keep going this way with your team, and then, like, having to, like, deal with all sorts of stuff in your face all the time, right? It's okay to split.
Back in the saddle again.
10 seconds remaining.
Let them up.
Oh wait, do we lose this? I guess we lost this. No, we win this, right? I don't remember. I guess we lose this. Huh. Okay. Alright. Overall, number one issue for you is not sticking with your team. Just like play with your team less. When you do play with your team, it should be either as part of a rotation that you expect to not be contested, or as part of a big picture team play, like high noon behind shield, or like a really aggressive flash push, using like wall and just like unloading everything on the Rhine or something. Outside those situations, you should basically never be with your team, right? You don't want to be too far from them, right? But you don't want to be with your team, you know. Um, and from a more like micro perspective, you need to like be happy with mid range. There were a lot of situations where you intentionally got really close to people when you didn't need to, right? And you would compromise your positioning for it. You would add a lot of risk to yourself, right? You were just like how many flash fan the hammers were there that game, right? Like a lot, and like that's fine, right? But like it's edging to the territory of like you're looking for it more than you're just looking for shots sometimes. And that's like not the correct like prioritization, right? Like flash fan is great, right? But it's not like an every fight type of play, right? Flash is to protect yourself, not an aggressive play, and you only do it when like you're already stuck close to them, right? You use it a lot because you position so close to people a lot, right? So like you got a flash fan kill on like the Lucio in that last fight, right? And then you converted it into a BAP kill, and you only got that kill because you had no choice because you were right next to like there was a high noon behind you and like both supports and a Rhine in front of you, right? So you had no choice except to go for that play, right? But you put yourself in these situations a lot where you have to go for these plays. And then sometimes like you do have a choice and you go for it anyways. So just try and dial it down and focus more on like setting yourself up for free shots, right? And less on free flashbangs. Because free flashbangs are very rarely actually free. All right, I hope that's helpful. If you get to this part in the VOD, DM me what 9 times 0 equals, and I'll cut it here.